One sentence from Wang Yibo, and the world suddenly couldn't stop crying. It wasn't a dramatic confession. It wasn't a grand speech. It was just a simple question, and a man who finally allowed himself to answer it honestly. The finale of Exploring the Unknown Season 2 was supposed to celebrate endurance. Months of cliffs and engines, bruised hands and burning lungs, wind tearing across mountain ridges and waves crashing against steel. Viewers tuned in expecting highlights of courage. Proof, once again, that Wang Yibo could survive anything placed in front of him.
And he always did.
But no one was prepared for the moment that would break them far more deeply than any dangerous climb ever could. The set felt different that night.
Softer.
More intimate. The cameras were closer than usual, catching every blink, every breath. The atmosphere carried a strange quiet, the kind where silence feels louder than applause. Then the host asked the question, "Have you become the person you wanted to be?" It sounded gentle, almost casual. But for someone who has lived under microscopes, under rumors, under expectations so high they scrape the sky, that question carried the weight of an entire decade. Wang Yibo paused. Not the playful variety show pause. Not the calculated dramatic pause. This was the silence of someone traveling through memories at the speed of light. The trainee days, the sleepless nights, the endless instructions to improve. Be better.
Smile more. Talk more.
Be warmer. Be faster. Be stronger. Be perfect. Be everything. You could see something shift in his eyes, calculation, maybe even fear. Because once an answer leaves your mouth, it becomes truth. And truth, for someone like him, has never been light. Then he spoke.
Soft.
Steady. Unprotected. The way I am now, this is the person I want to be. In that second, millions stopped breathing. It wasn't loud. It wasn't dramatic. There were no theatrics. But it detonated straight into the hearts of everyone who had ever watched him try so hard to be enough. The clip spread faster than headlines. Phones trembled in hands. Live stream chats froze. People replayed it over and over, almost disbelieving. But no, he really said it. After years of being called distant. After being misunderstood for his silence. After schedules that would crush ordinary people. After accusations, scrutiny, impossible standards. He looked at the world and quietly said, without needing to shout, "I am okay with myself." Do you understand how powerful that is? For so long, many believed Wang Yibo lived by an invisible rulebook. Never fail. Never slow down. Never show weakness. Never give anyone a reason to doubt you. He trained himself to speak less and work more. To endure quietly. To perfect every detail. Perfection became his armor. But armor is heavy. And no human can wear it forever. As he continued speaking, the walls cracked even further. He admitted that there was a time he believed he had to be perfect for everyone else. Strong. Capable of everything, efficient, untouchable. Then came the words that shattered the image people had glued onto him. It's okay to be human. It's okay to be tired. It's okay to be quiet.
It's okay not to speak all the time.
And it's okay to be happy with who I am right now.
Right now.
Not someday. Not after one more trophy. Not after another achievement. Not after proving himself again.
Now.
That tiny word carried a kind of healing people didn't even know they were waiting for. Because if someone judged by millions can finally grant himself peace, maybe the rest of us can try too. The internet did what it always does when emotion becomes too big. It overflowed. Messages poured in from trains, offices, classrooms, bedrooms lit only by phone screens. I'm crying in public. I didn't know I needed to hear this. He survived everything and still chose kindness toward himself. Fans who had grown up with him suddenly saw the timeline of his life, playing side by side. The guarded young man afraid of mistakes. The performer who rarely let vulnerability escape. The relentless worker who pushed long after others would have collapsed. And now, at 28, a man who could finally say, "I like the person I am." Edits appeared within minutes. Old clips of tight smiles and rigid posture dissolving into the relaxed, gentle expression from the finale. The difference felt almost unreal. He looked lighter, not because the world suddenly became kinder, but because he became kinder to himself. Many remembered the stories from earlier years, surviving on simple meals, chasing opportunity in a city that can swallow dreams whole, practicing until dawn, learning to carry disappointment without complaint, from trainee to actor, from idol to professional racer, from performer to explorer of mountains and oceans. Every title earned with relentless discipline. Yet the victory that shook the world wasn't another achievement.
It was acceptance.
What makes the moment even more devastating is how ordinary the wish truly is. To wake up and not hate yourself. To look in the mirror and not search for flaws. To breathe without apologizing for existing. Celebrities are often treated like finished products, polished, perfect, untouchable. But behind the image are people who once lay awake wondering if they were failing simply by being human. When Wang Yibo spoke, he quietly dismantled that myth. Strength is not the absence of fragility. Strength is allowing fragility to live beside your courage. There was relief in him that night. A small, almost shy smile, as if he had waited years to give himself permission to say those words out loud. Across cities and countries, viewers pressed hands to their mouths, understanding how difficult that permission can be. Growth rarely happens alone, but the spotlight remained on him. A man who once carried the burden of being flawless, now telling the world that imperfection is allowed. It didn't feel like defeat. It felt like freedom. Trends exploded. Clips looped endlessly. Tears refused to stop. Yet beyond the noise, one truth stayed simple. Someone admired by millions chose honesty over image. And by doing so, he handed comfort to strangers he will never meet. If his journey has meant anything, maybe it is this. Arriving doesn't always mean reaching higher. Sometimes it means finally standing still and saying, "I'm home in my own skin." Tonight, countless people are whispering those words with him. And somewhere, perhaps another tired heart is daring to believe it too. Wang Yibo became the person he wanted to be. And the world, crying, proud, and full of love, reached back.